can you remember that feeling of chasing a loss?
As soon as I turned 21, just before I'd actually got offered a job in recruitment after pulling out of university, my granddad rang me. It's funny because Christmas birthdays, me and my brother growing up would be like, Granddad's minty, why has he not got us anything for Christmas? And he rang me at 21 and said his stocks and shares horse was ready, and he effectively set a stocks and shares horse up from when I was born. It was now at 12,300 quid and I was legally allowed to take it. And I lied to him and said I was looking at houses. He said, are you looking at houses or anything like that at the minute? Because some of the other grandkids had used it from buying a house. So I lost it all in the casino in a week. 7 days, it was gone, 12,300 quid. And to put some context on that, that's not me saying to a girl, do you want to go to the casino and we have a drink and I'm doing a bit of gambling. It's not me going there with 5 mates and having a drink. That's me going there on my own for 7 hours a night for 7 days until 12,300 quid was completely gone. So, I mean, that's what, 14 years ago. And I carried on chasing losses from that point up until nearly the age of 30. I got to 30 and realised I ain't got a house, I don't drive, I've got no savings, I had nothing, but I'd have been on a really good salary for 5, 6, 7 years. So I was effectively working to feed my addiction and working to chase my losses. And the feeling that when you've put in 60, 70-hour weeks in, to then realise that you've just lost all your money in a week and you're now going to have to start telling lies to family and friends on why you can't make social events, how you get into work. It just all starts to build up and yeah, it's a horrible, horrible feeling.
What was it for you? What was the catalyst for change?
I actually won 19 grand on an online roulette in 2019, I think it was, or potentially start of 2020. I had 19000 in the top of my account from 50 quid. And I remember standing up and thinking, back to the Angel and Devil, this side's thinking, well, you can pay him back, you can pay her back, you can buy a Stone Island jumper. So I'm spending it in my head. It's not in my bank, but it's in my account balance. And I lost a lot in 90 seconds. 3 grand bet. I didn't want to bet, but impulsively I just went, yeah, 3 grand gone. And I'm thinking, shit, I need to win that back. 3 grand gone. And 90 seconds, 19 grand was 0. And then I sort of had a bit of a breakdown around, after that, opened up to my mum about things for the first time after 16, 26, 12, 13 years. And I think my mum knew there was an issue there, but not to the extent of how bad it was.
What kind of support emerged for you? That sounds like it was a really big moment to have, lifted the lid on the secrets.
Yeah, it did, but I still weren't fully comfortable in opening up about everything to my mum, still. So the catalyst was, there are a number of catalysts that followed after that one. So after losing that money and sort of, again, going through the circle of feeling worthless, at rock bottom, unsure how you're in this situation, my first sort of year of recovery when I tried to stop gambling was difficult because there'd be times where I'd sneak into a bookies, put a bet on, not tell anyone, not only be a 5 or a 10, but just wanted that buzz of having a bet on. And then I think it was 6 months into not having a bet, someone told me you could find out how much money you'd lost using a third-party company, and I'd used a GDPR company to reach out to all the gambling shops where I had accounts. I think it was 42 in total, between 38 and 42. And it come back after about 6 months and I'd lost 263 grand from the ages of 16 to 29. And I was just like, wow, how have I given over £250,000 to an industry that I actually know nothing about? Absolutely nothing about. If someone would have asked me, I'd have maybe said, I don't know, 100 grand over that amount of time, 10 grand a year for 10 years. But yeah, it was 263k. And then I started speaking to psychologists, counsellors, open up about things for the first time, started getting things off my chest in terms of trauma in earlier life and things like that. And that helped me gain a better understanding for myself. And there were other things as well. So concentrating on my own physical health, starting the gym again, going out on walks. So where I might be sat at home on a Saturday because I weren't playing sport anymore because gambling addiction had stopped me playing sport. I weren't interested in sport. I'd rather sit there and have a bet. So where I'd be sat at home and I'd be bored, I'd go out and do a 15-mile, 20-mile walk with the lads. So nature played a part, which is ironic given where we are today.
And then you went on to start Against the Odds.
Yes. Against the Odds has basically been the backbone to my recovery because I'm now in a position where if I'm going into Brentford Football Club or if I'm going into somewhere to work near my house, there's an onus now on me to not go into a bookies. If the students see me come out of the bookies after going and doing a talk, then the message loses its clarity and its purpose. So setting this business up has helped me in my recovery from gambling, because it's almost made me think, well, I've done so well and I've come that far now that there's no going back. And that's the headspace I've been in for the last 2 or 3 years. And it's the best I've ever felt. If you'd have asked me 4 or 5 years ago, do you think you'll ever be able to stop gambling? I'd have said no, because I did not think it'd be possible. But the purpose of saying that is, if there's people watching this that are in a position where they want to stop gambling and they're ready to stop gambling, you can do it. And that could either be by just initially having that conversation with somebody you trust, by contacting Against the Odds, or by contacting one of the support services that are out there.